Hey guys, how you doing? Out here in the field just trying to get some paper served today, and unfortunately this was not a good one. So I wanted to come today and share a video with you guys that we found. We kind of pulled it off of Courtroom Consequences. They have a channel on YouTube. I suggest you guys go and check them out, give them a like and follow, show them some love. And it's really, the video today is about 8 just wild courtroom things that happen in the courtroom that are crazy. So we're going to look at that and check out the video, and at the end of it we'll kind of discuss what I think about it. I think it'd be fun. It's a kind of a new way we're going to take the channel and not only share raw body cam footage from process servers and other personnel in the legal industry, but we're going to try to pull in some things that happen in the courtrooms. We're going to talk about some court cases, and we're going to do some things a little different. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some feedback, and hopefully I'll get the next one served.
Warning, strong language.
This is Leonid Greiser. The dangerous criminal is confined to a secure glass box in Sherbinski District Court for the duration of the trial to ensure the safety of the guards, court employees, and other civilians. Greiser approaches the narrow open panel of the box, and there's a short verbal exchange with the courtroom guard. He retreats behind the tinted window, but suddenly stops dead in his tracks as an idea comes to him. Watch again as the expression flickers across Greiser's face in a moment of dawning realization. With an air of intent and determination, he stoops down, putting his hands through the narrow horizontal window, gripping the outer panel as he tries to pull his upper body through the opening. Unfortunately for him, his head is too big to fit, so instead, he leans back and swings his right leg out of the window, hoping to exit feet first. Watch as the female guard puts her hands through the window to grab his leg, and he moves back towards the center of the box, out of reach of the officers. However, another plan has started to form for Greiser, and he looks toward the ceiling of the box, searching for an alternative escape route. Seeing that the situation was about to evolve further, the male courtroom officer beckons him back toward the access window to divert his attention. They speak for a minute, and Greiser seems to calm down. However, just as it seems that peace is restored, the situation takes an unbelievable turn. Greiser jumps onto the low bench in the box and begins to squeeze his way up through an extremely narrow gap between the ceiling slats. Officers stand by, seemingly not too worried as the defendant anchors a leg on either side of the box, shimmying further up through the top. But when he gets high enough that his head displaces the styrofoam ceiling tile, the guards realize that they're in trouble, and they spring into action. Watch as the 3 officers try to climb up to reach Greiser as his body disappears through the courtroom ceiling. Despite his legs being held by 2 guards and beaten with a baton by the 3rd, Greiser continues to move upwards, wriggling so furiously that his pants come off into the hands of one of the officers. More guards arrive for backup, and one approaches the escapee's leg, brandishing a taser. Somewhat nervous of being tased, Greiser knocks 2 of the ceiling tiles through from the attic side and pleads with the officer not to do it. The guard continues to wave the taser near Greiser's leg, and he starts to come back down through the ceiling, bringing a tangle of wires and tiles with him. Eventually, Greiser lowers himself back into the box, pulls his pants back up, and the hearing continues with him in handcuffs to prevent any further escape attempts. The daring defendant was ultimately found guilty of the murder, and he told the court that he had no regrets about what he did, as he was sentenced to mandatory psychiatric medical treatment. Lovejoy is in court charged with conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder for a botched murder-for-hire plot in which her soon-to-be ex-husband was shot in 2016. The mother of one, who was known for her YouTube videos on cooking before her arrest, stood accused of hiring her gun instructor, Weldon McDavid Jr., to shoot and kill her husband, Greg Mulvihill. Lovejoy and Mulvihill had been going through a contentious divorce at the time, and as part of the final agreement, Mulvihill was required to pay her ex-husband $120,000. Following a dramatic trial, Lovejoy has been called back into the courtroom in Vista, San Diego, to hear the jury's verdict. It's a tense moment, and Diana bows her head toward the desk in nervous anticipation. As the forewoman announces that she has been found guilty, Lovejoy's shock is clearly evident, and her eyes widen as she looks at her defense attorney in horror. She continues to look stunned and aghast as the forewoman reads on, and she leans back in her seat with her eyes closed as she tries to process what is happening.
All right, we're going to need to take a break. Bring it down. And if we could have, the jury go back into the room.
Although her eyes are open, Lovejoy seems to be in a catatonic state, and her head rolls about uncontrollably. Lovejoy is taken from the court to a waiting ambulance on a stretcher. After recovering from what ER doctors deem to be just a fainting episode, Lovejoy is brought back to court, where she is sentenced to 26 years to life for her crimes. Wilkins is representing himself in an Ohio courtroom against multiple charges of assault and weapons violations.
You've had months to research this matter. This is why I suggested to you that you have counsel.
Not willing to give Wilkins any more time, the hearing proceeds. The judge, already familiar with Wilkins' flair for drama, seems unperturbed, and she calmly calls for the courtroom to be cleared yet again. The officers, who are trained medics, lift him back up into his chair, and a nurse checks him over, deeming there to be nothing wrong with him. The situation becomes even more bizarre as a deputy waves smelling salts under Wilkins' nose.
Oh, a remarkable change.
Despite being deemed healthy, Wilkins is eventually lifted from the seat and taken out of court in a wheelchair. 35-year-old Nicholson is appearing at Christie's Beach Magistrates Court in Adelaide, South Australia, for a bail hearing in relation to weapons offenses and driving charges that he is facing. As Magistrate Sue O'Connor announces that Nicholson's bail is being revoked, the drugged-up defendant stands up and pleads with her, putting his hands in the air. The judge orders him to sit down. A sheriff's officer enters the dock to take control of the situation and calm Nicholson down. Two officers grab him in an attempt to get him down, and he wrestles with one of them, locking arms as he falls back into the dock.
Hey guys, this is Cody with Patent Legal Services. I wanted to come and jump into this video and drop an ad and just tell you what I do. We do process service nationwide. We do that through an extensive network of process servers that work with us. So if you need something served anywhere in the nation, please give us a call, especially in Arkansas, that's our home state. We also do skip tracing, where we can find individuals for you, and mobile notary services in the Northwest Arkansas area.
Nicholson's supporters, who were sitting in the hall outside, storm the courtroom. One woman is holding Nicholson's young son in her arms, and she begs the guards for mercy. You can hear her here screaming and pleading that Nicholson is a sick man. Officers eventually restrain Nicholson, placing him in handcuffs. Two of the sheriff's officers involved were injured. Nicholson was jailed for at least 12 months for the escape attempt. Teal is appearing before Superior Judge Karen Donahue in King County Courtroom, Seattle. Teal's behavior in custody has been erratic up until now, and he's been involved in a number of violent incidents, including trying to headbutt a detective who was questioning him about the incident at the car dealership. Teal's handcuffs are removed by the jail guard, and the defendant continues to look around in a confused manner. As the prosecutor kicks off the hearing, Teal reaches his arm out towards his defense attorney, and the court officer grabs his arm down and tells him to stand still. You won't believe what happens next. Teal laughs, and then without warning or provocation, he turns to Birkeland again and slaps him sharply. This officer eventually manages to get the cuffs back on the 250-pound man, and another officer calls to the back of the courtroom for an attendant to bring a restraint chair to strap Teal into. Birkeland declines to press charges, but he removes himself from the case. But the craziness doesn't end there. 2 weeks later, Teal's back in the courtroom again for another competency hearing. Before the hearing concludes, Teal interrupts, and unbelievably, he proceeds to complain loudly about the fact that his hair is short in his mugshot.
I'd like to know where the they got that photo of me with my short hair. Because that was on Facebook, and I don't have a Facebook. Legitimate question. Like, do they have access to Google?
Teal is eventually deemed competent to stand trial, and after being found guilty, he's sentenced to 8.5 years to life for his crimes. Plunkett's story is already a crazy one. She's a qualified criminal defense and civil rights attorney. Plunkett stands accused of 2 counts of conspiracy to unlawfully possess a cell phone by a prisoner and 12 counts of possession of a cell phone by a prisoner. This is after she was found to have handed her cell phone to a client of hers to use while visiting him in the county jail 2 years earlier. Not only that, but the client in question, Andrew Arevalo, is also Alexis Plunkett's boyfriend. Plunkett's actions and lack of common sense in relation to the matter have been appalling, and it's about to get a whole lot worse for her in court when the investigating officer takes the stand. He testifies that when police seized Plunkett's phone, they found text messages that she had sent to a group of 6 other attorneys, claiming that she had ordered a hit on Andrew Arevalo. Plunkett finishes the message with the words, "Delete this," followed by a smiling emoji. When one of the other attorneys called her out on it and told her not to joke about things like that, Plunkett responded by saying she wasn't joking. She justifies her actions, saying that Arevalo told her he would have her killed, so she wanted to have him killed first.
This is bizarre. There's nothing to say. Who in the right mind would send these texts? Like I said, I've been doing this since 1982, and I've never even heard of this, let alone seen this. The trial is firm. It's going forward. If you have any motions, file them now. This will not be moved.
But following in her previous pattern of poor judgment, it isn't long before she finds herself back in court again, this time accused of intimidating one of the witnesses in her case. The charge comes after Plunkett made a post on social media calling a potential witness a snitch.
She has said in these texts what she wanted to do. She wanted to have Mr. Arevalo killed or beaten down severely. She mentioned who would do it.
To be held without bail pending the trial in this matter.
In the end, Plunkett makes a plea deal with the prosecution, pleading guilty to 1 count of possession of a telecom device by a prisoner. In exchange, the charges of intimidating a witness are dropped. Boston is appearing before Judge Haywood Berry on some relatively light charges. He'd been stopped for speeding by officers, and upon searching the vehicle, they found the Tennessee man to be in possession of a small amount of marijuana.
I think it's very unfair, the marijuana law here. I think we the people deserve better because marijuana is a very harmless drug, and it's been around for ages, since the 80s and 90s.
That baloney all my life, so don't go any further on that. But if you want a trial, we can give you a trial.
Watch as Boston reaches into his jacket pocket. Amazingly, none of the court officers even notice what he's doing as he pulls out a joint and puts it into his mouth.
Hey, we the people deserve better.
In case you missed it, here is the incredible moment again. For his boldness, Boston gets an additional charge of disorderly conduct and contempt of court, as well as a second charge for possession of marijuana. McCarthy's story begins outside of the courtroom when he's embroiled in a contentious child custody case with his ex-wife. Obviously enraged, McCarthy phones the Volusia County Sheriff's Office in Florida to sound off about the situation.
Communications, Warhurst.
Yeah, I want to report a crime that's about to happen.
What do you mean a crime that's about to happen?
Yeah, there's about to be a crime that's going to happen if my kids don't come back to me, you stupid bitch. Because your stupid judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building.
Sir, what is going on?
Who the you calling, sir, you stupid bitch? Where's your judge warrant at? You gonna bring that bitch out in handcuffs and I'm gonna execute that son of a bitch right in the street. I'm letting you know I'm gonna shoot this bitch. You gonna give me my kids?
Where are you at, sir?
I just told you I'm outside of her building waiting for her to get there in the morning. I'm gonna pop a cap in you stupid.
Officers thankfully managed to track McCarthy down and arrest him, charging him with making a threat against a sitting judge. Here he is in court for a pretrial hearing, and from the moment he enters the courtroom, it's clear that his volatile nature hasn't calmed down in the intervening months.
What a bunch of guys, you stupid piece of then also you threatened my life, in the you
back room.
Suck my
Sworn in.
No, I was not sworn in.
Yes,
I've never been sworn in this court.
So that being said, number one, I need to know whether or not you want to be here during the trial process.
No.
All right. Do you want to testify?
No, I don't. This is all being done unconstitutionally, unrightfully.
Do you want to be in the room or not?
Do you want to suck my
I prefer not to.
My daddy owns the building and I look like a idiot, huh? Brought your dress today, you little prick. You want to take my kids from me and act like that? You and that. Shut the up. I'm trying to think over here. No, I'm not standing. Not resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm just not standing up. I'm not standing. I don't have to stand.
And, due to his continued outbursts, McCarthy spends much of the actual trial in a room behind the courtroom, as Judge Foxman sentences him, giving him 20 years in prison for threatening the judge, and a further 10 days in jail for his actions in the courtroom throughout the trial process.
So what did you guys think about that? I'll tell you, something we don't always think about is what judges and bailiffs and just court individuals and employees have to deal with on a daily basis, and some of the crazy things that happen in a courtroom or by Zoom. There's a lot of different ways that court is held these days. I've been to court a few times. I've not had any experiences like that in the courtroom yet, but oftentimes I'll show up to court knowing someone's going to be there that's been evasive, and that's going to be my best opportunity to catch them and get them served. And so I think the courtroom is always a place that anything can happen. And so that video really highlights and captures some of the crazier things that you can deal with or expect to deal with, in a courtroom. I just want to try this out, guys, see what you think about it. Let me know, give me some feedback, and check out my other page. It's Patent Legal Services. That's my business. That's really the sponsor of this video. Coming to you guys, and we offer process service nationwide. Come check us out and give us a like and follow as well on that page. Link below. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in with us. You never know where we're going to film next. If you guys have any feedback or anything that you think we could do with this channel to make it better or more appealing to you, please leave us some comments or shoot us a direct message, and we'd be happy to respond to those. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks.